Hi everyone, welcome to this TikTok live show. Okay, let me. Hey then, welcome to this TikTok live show, guys. If you can see and hear me, just type a hi in the chat. Okay, hi Leah, hi. Okay, I think some of you have joined. Hi Brian, awesome. Yeah, this is Joey here, all right, and welcome to this TikTok live show. And the title of this show is called Ask Me Any Stocks, guys. Just want to add more value to you. I think some of you, it's a bit impromptu. This is kind of like the second time I'm doing like a TikTok live, all right. So good to see you guys over here. Hi Theo, William, hi Lopsun, hi Celia. Good to see you here as well. All right. So thank you so much. Just help me tap on the screen. That will really be helpful as well. And in case you guys, in case the screen is like too small, what can happen is you can actually do it like landscape mode. There is a button kind of like at the bottom right hand. You can click on it, and then the screen will be kind of like a little bit bigger. All right, because later we'll be looking at the charts and all that. Right. So tell me to tap. Give me some love and like, all right, just tap on the screen. That will be really helpful. I think you can see some heart shapes flying around. All right, thank you so much, guys. Okay, so welcome to this live show, guys, called TikTok Ask Me Any Stock. So I'll be just going through some of the stocks that you guys are asking about just to add more value, all right? And make sure you click on the follow button. There should be a follow button right on the top. If you have not clicked yet, click on it so that when we go live in the future, right, you will be notified on TikTok as well. All right, thank you so much. Just click on follow right at the top. There's a plus sign or something. I'm still pretty new to TikTok, guys. I'm trying to grow the flowing over here. All right, so click on the follow button. All right, when we go live, you will be notified as well. All right, okay, very good. So very simple, guys. And this TikTok live show is called Ask Me Any Stock. So if you're free joining us right now, if you're scrolling through TikTok live, great to have you here. If you are looking into buying or selling any stocks, holding on to it, not sure what to do, well, you're in the right place. Basically, we are going through some of the stocks that you guys are asking about, and I'll perhaps share with you guys some of those stocks that is in my watch list as well at the end. All right, so we'll do a quick market outlook, and we'll look at some of the stocks that you guys are asking about. All right, Hai Kong Jing, Pinsun, Tesla, Apple. All right, yeah, maybe we look at the US market. All right, look at US market. Maybe after that we can look at the Singapore market as well. All right, so just take note, guys. If my screen is too small, hi Kuntek, hi Ed, good to see you as well. All right, awesome. Okay, very good. Help you tap on the screen, guys. Show me some love. Tap on the screen, tap on the leaves, reach out to more people. I think more and more people are slowly joining us before we really begin. But just take note, guys, if the screen is too small, all right, because later I'll be looking at my charts, then click on at the bottom right hand, there should be like a square or like a full screen icon. Click on it, and that is where you can turn your phone to be like a landscape mode, and it will be like bigger. All right, and in case it's a bit too small later, that's what you could do, and then the chat will be on the right as well. Okay, hi Choco, hi, thank you so much for being here. Kong Jiang, hi Mike, thanks for following as well. Hi Pinson, thanks for following as well. Click on the follow button, right? So we do a quick market outlook. How many of you want me to cover a quick market outlook? Just type M. Hi Ahyok, good to see you here as well. Hi Zo, type M in the chat, guys, if you want me to cover like the market first before we take a look at maybe some of the stocks that you guys are asking about. All right, then, yeah, so we'll just try to cover like some Singapore stocks later, maybe some US stocks as well, but thanks Celia, Mike, Alan, all right, Haley, awesome. So maybe I'll just cover what we call the S&P 500 index, all right? This is the S&P 500 index right over here. So I believe all of you would be able to see my screen. As I mentioned, guys, if it's a little bit too small, because TikTok is like mainly vertical, but if you want it to be bigger, you can actually click on the icon to expand your screen, and you could watch it like this, all right, so that it is slightly bigger, all right, all right, does it make sense? Okay, so I hope that helps, but thank you so much for participating. Thanks, Brian, Caroline, Joy. Click on the follow button. Let me go here to analyze what we call the S&P 500 index, one of the very popular index, guys, that tracks the top 500 companies in the US, right? In the US, so you can see right over here, all right, right over here, S&P 500 index. we are pretty much in a very firm longer term uptrend, I would say, right? I mean, since, to be honest, last year, February, March, we have turned into a good uptrend, just starting to form, not just last week or last month, right? In fact, since last year, we have seen the trend turn from like down since 2022 due to the rate hikes and all that. We have turned into an uptrend already, right? Of course, along the way, right, we did see a couple of like sell down in terms of the short term, like from like somewhere in July we sold down for like 2-3 months all the way to October, and November we saw a really good bottom and all the way up. And yeah, just last month, right, same thing, we saw a bit of weakness in the short term as they'll talk about pushing back the rate cuts, and we sold off again. But seems like buying pressure has came back. We have headed towards this support level. So let me just go ahead to draw this support level. All right, it is at about the 5,000. So for those of you who have just joined us, guys, I'm pretty much covering what we call the S&P 500 index right now. All right, thanks for following Russell. Thanks for following Zoe. Awesome. Thanks for sharing as well, Tan. Yeah, Huiling, hi, Chloe joined as well. Good to see you here. Thank you. All right, so make sure you hit the follow button, guys, so that you will not miss out when I go live in the future. All right, this is the kind of like the very few times that I'm doing live on TikTok just to try it out. All right, so hoping to build the following as well here. All right, okay, very good. So this is the S&P 500 index, guys. For those of you who have just joined us, welcome. All right, we are pretty much in this live show called Ask Me Any Stocks. I'm looking at the markets right now. This is the S&P 500 index. And before we look at the stocks that you guys are asking about, I know some of you have already typed in the stocks that you wanted a quick opinion. I'll do my best to cover as many as possible, like maybe 1-2 minutes for every stock. We just move on really fast, all right? Hi, Kuntik. Thanks for joining. Hi, Anna. Good to see you here as well. Russell, thanks for joining. All right, let's go. All right, so this is the S&P 500 index. 5,187. So I mentioned this 5,000 is a pretty good psychological support level, right? So when we kind of like sold off about last month, about 2-3 weeks back, I kind of like anticipated that we might head towards the 5,000 or maybe even that 4,800, which would be a much stronger support level, right? But you can see 4,008 was pretty much where we were about 2 years back. The previous high we have broken right over here, and when we broke the 4,008 somewhere in like January, it was a really bullish move. It's like kind of like reaching to a new multi-year high, and that's where you can see a lot of momentum or the uptrend actually continuing even further. All right, so I kind of like expected to dip maybe to like 5,000, or if the 5,000 were to give way, maybe to 4,008. But it seems like buyers have already came back, all right, and we started to see some bargain hunting coming back near the 5,000 over the past 1 week, all right? So overall, I would say that the market is bullish in the longer term. In the short term, we are seeing a bit of a weakness, all right, but so far so good. Buyers are coming out on dips, right, on as it approaches some of those support levels, right? Thanks for liking as well, guys. Make sure you hit the follow button and the like, right? Tap on the screen, guys. I would appreciate if you can just tap on your screen. I think if you tap on your screen, let me know if this is working, guys, but it works for me. If you tap on the screen, there should be a heart-shaped icon or something like that, right? Help me to just give me a like. That will really help out to reach out to more people, all right? I think we have more and more people slowly joining us. Thanks, Chloe, for tapping on the screen. Hi, good to see you here, Thomas. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so more than 50 of you on board here, all right? Okay, very good. So this is the S&P 500 index, guys. As I mentioned, the longer term trend is still intact as per the moving average. You can see that the 100 days moving average and the 200 days moving average are still pointing up, all right, very firmly. Short term wise, we saw the 20 days moving average. This kinds of like represents the short term trend, which was pointing up all the way until somewhere in early April we started to point down. I mean, that's the reason why we saw some short term weakness, all right? But it seems like right now this 20 days moving average is starting to flatten out and maybe even start to point up as well. So we are seeing signs of not just the longer term trend that is already up, but also the short term trend turning back up as well. That is a good thing. That's a good thing, guys. So overall, the market is quite bullish, and I think for the S&P 500 index, if you want to kind of like take a position in the entire market, what you could do is to take a position on what we call the ETF, right? So for the S&P 500 index specifically, all right, you can kind of like buy and sell what we call the SPY, SPY, that is the code SPY, the ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. Hi Vani, hi Haley, hi Jerry, thanks for joining, good to see you here. All right, thank you so much. Just hit the follow button, hit the like button as well. We are pretty much talking about the S&P 500 index, but yeah, as I mentioned guys, you can trade what we call the SPY. All right, SPY. If you're looking at the indexes as well, you're looking to take a position on the S&P 500 index. So right now, in terms of the resistance level, just take note guys, we are potentially seeing some resistance or some selling coming in around that 5,280. All right, look at this right over here, right? 5,200 and yeah, 5,270 to 5,000, maybe 300. I think that's where some selling can happen. But if we breach those levels, great. I think that's where we can potentially push to another high. All right. Okay, so let's go on to take a look at some of the stocks. We look at the US market right now. All right, and go ahead, guys, to follow. All right, I'll try to give you priority if you hit the follow button or hit on tap and like button. Right, that's where I'll try to cover, give you guys more priority. But go ahead to type in the chat. The US stocks that you guys are asking about. I will try my best, as I mentioned, to cover as many as possible. All right. So type in the chat, guys. What are some of the US stocks that you want a quick opinion? I think Vani asking about. Could you advise on Tesla, right? So Tesla, we have Apple. Any more guys? Type Palantir. Thanks Thomas for following. Netflix. Keep it coming, guys. Jerry, talking about, okay, I think some of you are typing some Amazon, Dell. Thanks, Ed. Hit the follow button, guys. For those of you who have just joined us, we are in this part right now on this show, Ask Me Any Stocks. I've covered the markets, and right now, I'm covering some of the stocks that you guys want a quick opinion. But make sure you follow. At the top, there should be a follow button. And if the screen is too small, guys, as I mentioned just now, just click on the button. There should be a square box to expand the screen, and you can like look at it in the landscape mode, horizontal, so the screen might be a little bit bigger. All right, because this is like TikTok, normally it's like all vertical, but you can actually do it like landscape, like what I'm showing you over here. All right, okay, so let's take a look at the stocks right over here. I think we have like Apple, right? Apple, Nvidia. Okay, let me just write it down. Guys. I'll try my best to cover as quickly as possible, right? Apple, AAPL, we have Nvidia. Let's see, right? So I'm looking at the US market right now. Maybe I'll just pick a few US stocks later. We look at Singapore. Vani, Tesla. Let me just write it down. Vani, Tesla. I hope that helps. Let's see. We have Nvidia, Coinbase. Take a look on Coinbase, COIN, code, right? Coinbase. Okay, so let me see, right? Amazon, all right? Palantir. Wow, that's quite a lot of stocks. I'll do my best, guys. I'll do my best. Amazon, AMZN. Okay, let me just look through, guys. CRM, CRM. All right. Okay. I hope that I think I've picked up quite a bit of stocks already. CrowdStrike. I'll do my best, guys. AAPL. Okay, we'll cover Apple. I think seems like a lot of people are asking about that. Okay, that's it for now, guys. I'll do my best because my apologies, guys, if I cannot cover like all the stocks, because I'll try my best to cover as many as possible just to add more value to you guys. But my apologies if I cannot do that. All right, but let me just go ahead right now to cover some of the stocks that you guys are asking about. And before I do that, guys, would it be okay if you have not followed yet, just to hit on the follow button, tap on the like button or the heart shape one. I think you can simply just tap on the screen. I think if you tap on the screen, there should be some heart shape or things like that. All right, that will be really helpful. All right, it can help me to grow the TikTok channel. And in this channel, that's where we'll post some of those chart analysis, some funny videos as well, some memes videos, just to educate, and not just educate, but also have a bit of fun as well in the stock market. All right, thanks for following. Ahyop, Law, YS. Thanks Vani, thanks for tapping as well. Awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at Apple. AAPL. Well, it seems like I've done quite a bit of analysis on Apple. Let's take a look at Apple right now. Okay, so this is Apple. Let me see. Okay, let me just see. This is Apple right now. Hope you guys can see my screen, but here is Apple at about 182.40 in terms of the close last night. Let me go ahead to draw this support line right over here. I think that would definitely be a support level. So for those of you who are new, right, you can attend one of those free webinars that I'm running. I will probably place, I tell you what, let me just grab the link. But essentially, I don't have time to share the entire strategy and all that. But if you want to find a little bit more on this strategy, attend one of those free webinars that I'm running. I'll just place the link. All right, yeah, in fact I can't actually place the link in the chat, right? But yeah, just probably be on my email list. Attend one of those free live webinars or something. Just Google and Google Joey Choy and be on my email list. That's where we'll let you know if there are any webinars, and that's where you can learn a bit more on the entire strategy and how we have like a system to guide us on entry and exit as well. All right, but in this live show right now on TikTok, basically we are just going through some of the stocks that you guys are asking about. So this is Apple, AAPI. Thanks for joining us. All right. Aloysius, hi, good to see you here as well. Samudra Shipping. So we look at the US market first. We'll go on to talk about like Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Coinbase, Palantir, Amazon, all right, and maybe you have time to look at CRM. I think that would be like Salesforce, all right. Okay, so let's take a look at Apple. So you can see that for Apple, right, we have been pretty much moving, I would say, sideways for the past 1 year. It has kind of like underperformed the market on many of those tech stocks like Nvidia and then Broadcom and all that. There's a play on AI. Apple is kind of like, playing a little bit of catch up. It has not really, outperformed the market. You see, we are swinging up and down here, swing up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So that is kind of like the range, right? So if you ask me quite clearly, the range for Apple would be about 165 to maybe about 200. I think 200 would be a really clear, what we call a resistance level. Look at this, right? We just neared it like two, three times and just couldn't get above. And it sold down again. So I think if we were to hit to 200, or not even 200, maybe even near 200, like 190 something, 95, 92, 90 something, whatever, I think that's where we can see some selling happening again. So you might want to consider take some profit there, all right? And especially, guys, if you do see like some bearish reversal candles right over here, like maybe how we have spotted one right over here. Yeah, if you see it over here, same thing, some bearish candles. If you see it over here, that is where you want to take some profit as well, because I think that's where we can still see a consolidation, all right, as long as you stay below the 200, right? But you want to put that in your alert as well, right? My take is that we are in a consolidation mode right now over the past 1 year. It might happen for 1 month, 2 months more, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. I have no idea. But my take is that if we were to actually one day, all right, break above that 200 level, that is a good thing. I think finally we would be able to get out of this sideways consolidation for like a year, and we can see more upside pretty fast, right? All the way to like 220, 250. Upside targets can be revised above 200, but right now, we are still below 200. So take note, that's where some selling can actually come back again. All right, so take note, guys. I mean, for Apple, you can see that we have found a little bit of support right here. In fact, not a little bit. I think that would be a very good support for like a year, about the 165 level. All right, and also 180 was also what we call a resistance level. You can see right over here. That was where we found some selling. All right, so it's a resistance level, sold off. Look at this, we broke above it, became the support. Finally, we went below it as well somewhere in March, and we were trading below from 165 to 180. But finally, over the past week, I think there's some news coming out as well for Apple. All right, and I think they're doing like a share buyback. All right, and you can see that we have managed to go above the 180 level. So that is a good thing, right? That's a good thing. It shows like we are actually getting out of the 180 range. So for those of you who have just joined us, guys, this is Apple, AAPL, all right, stock code AAPL, Apple, that I think a lot of people are asking as well. So pretty much I'm covering Apple right now. So I think right now for Apple, this 180, as I mentioned, we have breached this TAM resistance level the past 3 days. We're still holding above it. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I think we can stay above that 180. Potentially, we are still on track in terms of the rebound, as I say, all the way to 200 level. Not even 200. Anywhere near 200, we can expect some selling to happen. So they have to be greedy. I think anything like above 190 something, you can consider locking in some profits, because that's where some selling can come back again. All right. And in terms of the reversal, what we want to take note of is in terms of the trend, right? So I think I mentioned just now that for Apple, we have been consolidating sideways for like about a year, all right, in terms of the longer terms, up, down, up, down. But for the short term, if you look at it in terms of a shorter time frame, right, we were actually swinging up and down as well in the short term. So from 200, we came back down, and now we are like kind of making our way back up. And you can see the 20 days moving average, this green line right over here, right? This green line kind of like represents the short-term trend. So it follows prices very closely, and if it is pointing down with like prices below it, as you can see, it is not so good, right? That's where the trend might be down in the short term. We can see actually more weakness, right? But thankfully, right, as we approach that same 165 support, you can see right over here, great, right? We approach the same support. It doesn't mean that you approach that you will surely rebound, even though it has rebounded before. It doesn't mean that. But if we do approach there and we see signs of the short-term trend turning up as well, Isn't it better? Does it make sense? I mean, would it be a higher probability of it actually rebounding from that support level that we have drawn? All right, I hope that makes sense, right? So you can see right now that the 20 days moving average line is actually starting to point up. So that's a good thing. And in fact, that we've gone above that 180, another confirmation. So short-term wise, definitely a bit of buying pressure coming back, even though we have some bearish candles coming out. But the fact is that we are still holding above this new 180 support level. All right, so that is for Apple, right? So I hope you guys have learned something about Apple. You have kind of like taken note in terms of the price level for Apple, right? Just hit the like button, guys, if you have found some value so far for Apple before we move on to the next stock. And I think some of you have typed like, I make sure you guys follow, right? Follow at the top. There's a plus follow button. Click on it, follow, guys, and so that when we go live in the future, Amos Meta platform. Okay, let me just write it down. Okay, so we have covered like Apple already. All right, Alibaba. All right, okay, I'll try my best, guys. I mean, as I say, we'll do my best. We'll try to go on for like about an hour for this TikTok live show. Ask me any stocks. Thanks for joining, yo. Okay, very good. So let me just see if I miss any of the stocks. Okay, so Apple is done. Let's take a look at maybe Nvidia, NVDA, Nvidia. All right, Nvidia. Let's go at Nvidia right now. Let's see. All right. Okay, so here is Nvidia at about 905, right? 905. 905 US dollar. One of my, I would say, favorite plays in terms of the AI space. All right, AI space. You can see longer term trend has been intact since last year. We saw a little bit of a consolidation at about 500, right? Just below the 500 resistance level. That was, look at this right over here, right? So that was below this resistance level, all right, from 400 to 500. And we actually covered it since last year when it was a little bit boring, to be honest, like from 400 to 500. We're just moving up and down, like pretty much what Apple is doing right now. I mean, it's like just going up and down, sideways. And I mentioned that for Apple, if we do break that 200, all right, I mean, break, that means you want to break above it, you want to stay above it, you want to push away from the new support level, right? It doesn't mean you want to break and then you come back down again, then of course it's not counted, right? So for Nvidia, you can see that we were pretty much consolidating, right, from that 400 to 500 since last year. And yeah, the break did happen, right? We broke the 500. Of course, we sent out a note to our students and our mentees and clients as well. All right, so for those of you who are clients of mine in Phillip Securities, that is where we do share some of those ideas by WhatsApp, some of those Singapore stocks. So if you're not yet a client, guys, do check it out. All right, just go ahead and click on the link in my bio. All right, and link in my bio, guys. On the TikTok profile, click on the link in the bio. There should be a link right there to find out a bit how you can come on board as a client of mine in Phillip Securities to get some of our ideas by WhatsApp much faster daily. And make sure you follow me as well, so that when we go live on TikTok, we try to do it like once a week. All right, so that's where you can ask your questions. I'll try my best to add value to all of you over here. Thanks for joining us right over here. We have like more than 60 of you. Thanks for the heart. Cheers. Awesome. Thanks so much. Right, Faith, hi. Hi Hui Ri, Edmund, thanks for following, Faith, awesome. Okay, so this is Nvidia, right? So let me just go ahead. So as I mentioned, right, when we break a very key level, especially if a stock is already in an uptrend, that is a good thing. That's a good thing. That is where it can push to another high, or find a higher consolidation phase. Does it make sense? Right? So that's what happened for Nvidia. All right, and obviously you can see that we have got out of this consolidation to a higher consolidation. Right? And let me just show you what has happened for Nvidia over the past 1+ month. Right? So we have found, to be honest, a little bit of a resistance level. All right, what do I mean by a resistance? Well, a resistance basically, guys, very simple. It's a price level whereby every time it nears it, sellers just comes back and push it back down. All right, and you see a couple of candles whereby sellers are coming back. It's an upper wick or a higher upper shadow, some call it. All right, and it just comes back down as prices near that. So that's what we call a resistance level. It's just where sellers are coming back, and if we do hit to that level again, you might expect some selling to happen again. For those of you who have just joined us, we have covered Apple. This stock is Nvidia, stock code NVDA, one of the popular US stocks that a lot of people are asking about. So I thought let's just cover it. This is Nvidia. For those of you who have joined us, all right, welcome to this TikTok live show called Ask Me Any Stocks, right? And if you're scrolling through TikTok looking at some live show or selling some shopping stuff, right? Great, thanks for joining us, but we're not selling anything, right? I'm pretty much just adding value to you guys about the stocks that you guys are asking about. And So just to add more value to my followers as well. All right, so we are talking about the US market right now, and this is Nvidia. So make sure you hit the follow button. Thanks for joining us. Choy, awesome, good to see you here as well. All right, and we are looking at Nvidia NVDA. So resistance wise is about 970, right? 970. If you want, we can just put it as the 1000. As I say, 1000 is a psychological resistance level, just like how that 500 level, which we were trading below since until like January this year, was a psychological resistance level as well. Now it will be 1000, right? And it would be a while. I mean, look at this, right? For the 500, it took like about 5-6 months for it to finally break 500 and just, zoom all the way up, right? So right now, 1000. So it's kind of like doubled from 500 to 1000, right? 500 times 2 is 1000, right? So now we are kind of like approaching that double level, that 1000 level. So it would not be, my take is that it would not be so easy to simply break it, all right? In fact, I think it's healthy as well if you consolidate below it for a while, maybe like a few weeks, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 months, like how we have done it previously before attempting to break the 1000. I think that's where we could see more upside faster, all right? But let's take a look at what has happened, right, in terms of the downside. So we saw a bit of selling in many of those tech stocks. You can see that for Nvidia, we were actually, supported above this support at about the 840 level, or 840 level. But just about like 2 weeks back, we actually saw some selling, and we sold back down to the next support level, somewhere around that 750, 700, and you can see right over here. So 840 kind of gave way. You can see we went down to around that 750 support level. All right, it was a little bit shaky because it talks about rate cuts shifting back, and many of those tech stocks, we have seen a huge rally. So on news about pushing back rate cuts, or maybe even talks about rate hikes, definitely we'll see some weakness in many of those tech stocks, right? And yeah, this is pretty much what has happened. All right, we saw weakness in the tech stocks. We broke the support. We went down to 750, and you can see, guys, as we approach here, there was a pretty good bullish candle coming out, right? And of course, the longer term trend is up. You can see the red and the blue line, 100 days and 200 days moving average, they're still pointing up, right? So short term, we may see weakness, but the question is to where, all right? To where can we hit to, and then potentially some support can come back again? Well, that is how we can tell it from the charts, right? From charts where the previous levels whereby buyers have came back, and if we were to hit there again, and if we do see some bullish reversal candles coming out at that same support level, which we have drawn that line, which we kind of like anticipate that it will hit there, right? Then that would be another confirmation of that reversal. Yeah, so we saw some bullish candles coming out there, and you can see quite a good rebound back above that like 840 level. So 840, same thing, it became a resistance. We went back up, and right now you can see we are at about 905. So I think potential upside would be maybe from 840 all the way to about that $1,000. This is Nvidia, NVDA, for those of you who have just joined us, one of the stocks that a lot of people are asking about. So I've covered, this is Nvidia right now. And you can see, guys, that for yesterday, right, so this is a bar, a candlestick bar. Let me just see, right? Okay, maybe it's not really updated, right? Yeah, but you can see we actually saw a couple of bullish candles coming out right here, all right, whereby it's a long lower shadow, right? Long lower shadow. That means prices actually went all the way down in the morning and the afternoon, but buyers came back up and pushed it all the way back up as we approach this support. So support could be anywhere from like 800 to 840 if you want to give a bit of allowance. It used to be 750, but I think now 800 to 840, it seems like some bargain hunting is starting to come back already. All right, so this is Nvidia. I think it looks good. The short-term trend has started to flatten out and maybe even start to point out right now. We might be slowly heading towards the 1000, and that's where some selling can come back again. All right, so that is Nvidia, right? That's Nvidia. Okay, so let's move on. Those of you who have just joined us, welcome to this TikTok live show. I've covered the S&P 500 index. We have take a look at what we call the some of the stocks, the US stocks, the popular one like Apple, AAPL, that's done. We have Nvidia, NVDA, that I've just done as well. Let's take a look at Tesla, TES. Tesla right now. Let's take a look at Tesla. Let's see. Okay, so this is Tesla, stock code TSLA, right? Tesla, TSLA, trading at about 177, right? 177 US dollar. Let's take a look at it, right? Okay, so Jack, hi, good to see you here. Frank, so we are looking at the kind of like the US market right now. Later we have time, maybe look at the Singapore market, but today we will be looking at the US market. So make sure you follow, just hit the follow button. For those of you who have just joined us, tap on the screen to like, show some love as well, so that we can have some more likes. I think that will help us to reach out to more people. All right, thank you so much for following. Thanks Hui for following as well. Thanks Leah for sharing. Thanks for joining us. Hi Tony, good to see you. Thanks for following as well. Hi Gladys, thanks for joining us. Great to see you here. Sophie, thanks for liking as well. Hit the like button. Hi Kelvin, good to see you here. Okay, join. Okay, I think some of the username I can't really, it's like some numbers. Okay, very good. So let's move on. Okay, let's move on right now. This is Tesla, one of the popular stocks that a lot of people are asking about. All right, and let's take a look at it right now. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Tesla right now? I mean, in terms of the longer term trend. In terms of the longer term trend, what do you guys think? Make a guess, right? Is it like up or down? What do you guys think about Tesla? Stock code TSLA. Is it in the longer term uptrend? Is it up or down? What do you guys think in terms of the longer term trend? Is it up or down? Just type in the chat, guys, if you can make a guess. Up or down? Up or down? Let me know. Range bound, Jack, and any of you can just add that. Like, is it up or down? What do you guys think about the trend right now? Okay, let me just zoom it in a little bit bigger, right? So this is Tesla, TSLA. So I would say that for Tesla, you can see that over the past like 6 to 7, 8 months, right? We have kind of seen selling coming back, all right, and we have turned into what we call a little bit of a downtrend, all right. Why? I mean, just by looking at prices, you can see that the high, so the highs in July last year, almost a year back, it was about 300, all right. It became about 280, it became about 260, it became about 200, somewhere near 200 as well. So you can see that the highs are actually going lower, all right. That is not a good thing. I mean, if you're looking at the highs over a year period, all right, and it's just like going lower and lower, it just means that each time it rebounds up, right? So I mean, even though in a downtrend it's going lower, it doesn't mean it will go down every single day as well. Sometimes we can see it rebound back up because people might want to like bargain hunt and buy on dips, right? So it might rebound back up. But the question is that when it rebounds back up, all right, where does it go to? I mean, does it like rebound all the way up, or does it just like rebound up a little bit and then sellers came back and then push it even lower? Does it make sense, right? So if it's like finding what we call lower highs, then it's not a good thing. It shows that the trend is a little bit down, I would say, in the longer term, and that's just by looking at the prices itself. But if you're looking at what we call the moving averages, like what we call the 100 days, the red line 100 days moving average, and even the blue line, the 200 days moving average, they kind of like represent a bit of the mid to long term trend. So if both of them are pointing down, as you can see right now, both of them are pointing down, right? Okay, let me just remove these. You can see the red and the blue line. So that's a longer term moving average pointing down. Red is below the blue and prices below both of them. It is just not so good. It just shows that we are kind of like still a little bit of a downtrend for now, all right? So not so good, right? But let's take a look at some of the support levels that we have found, all right, in the short term that have came out, that we have pushed away from those prices. I think we might have found some temporary support level. Let's take a look at this level. I think somewhere over here it seems like 140 to about 160. So you can see 160 was where we were just about 1 year back. Look at this, right? Rebounded, and we were actually holding above that 160 as well. Right over here. Unfortunately, it broke down, but great, right? Seems like over the past 2 weeks, we managed to climb back above that 160, all right? So at least we are seeing a slightly higher consolidation in the short term, because basically you can see that what happens is that we are trading lower, we consolidate, and we broke the 160, and you can see that we went to 140. So we can actually consolidate from 140 to 160. That's what we could have done, right? And then we can break the 140, and to be honest, we can actually hit even lower, all right, in terms of the downtrend continuing, all right? That is what could happen. But great, because it seems like we have not gone to a lower consolidation. We have not broke the 140 support. In fact, we have gone back above that 160. So this 160 level, look at this right here, 160 would be kind of like the new support level right now, all right? But it doesn't mean that, because we've gone back above that 160 means we will recover for sure, we'll go to like 300 tomorrow or next month. It doesn't mean that way. It just shows that, well, in the short term, at least some bargain hunting is coming back, all right? And what is the key resistance level whereby you want to make sure we still get above, right? I think that would be that 200 level. So just write down, I think 200, guys. Okay, so the range is quite clear. You can see that the range. So this 200 is a psychological level. First of all, you can see we approached there somewhere in October last year. Pretty good rebound, all right? We broke down the 200, retested the resistance. Last week, I think we retested it as well, came back down. So this 200 is where we can see selling again. So that's the range, right? From 160 all the way to 200. So in the short term, we might just be consolidating in this range. I think, moving up and down. But in order for any firm reversal to happen for Tesla, all right, in order for it to really turn into what we call a uptrend again, all right, then we definitely want to go above that 200 level. So 200, take note, guys, that is kind of like the major resistance level for now for Tesla. If we can get above it, stay above it, I think that would be where we might see some signs of the trend turning up as well, all right, turning up as well. All right, okay, for those of you who have just joined us, guys, if your screen is too small, because I think TikTok normally is like vertical, right, but there should be a icon at the bottom right. You can click on it to expand the screen so you can see it on the landscape mode, so that it might be a little bit bigger. I know that in my previous TikTok live, some of those who join us mentioned that it's a bit too small, but hopefully now it's a little bit bigger that you can see on the landscape mode as well. All right, okay, so that is Tesla, TSLA. I hope you guys have a better idea of where we are right now for Tesla. Short term is looking quite good, but longer term, to be honest, I'm still a little bit more bearish below the 200. All right, and that is for Tesla. All right, so give me some like, hit the follow button if you have not yet followed, share. Maybe you can just do the share. I'm not too sure how to share, guys. I'm pretty new to this, but if you can hit the share button, guys, so that we can reach out to more people, that would be really helpful. Just hit the share button or tap on the screen. Tap on the screen to have some likes or something like that. All right, I think there's a goal we have that my team set, like followers like 423, right? So if you can help us to reach this goal, like 500 followers, that will be really good, right? Okay, so that is Tesla. That's Tesla. Thanks for joining us. Okay, thanks, Jack. Thanks, Zoe. All right, thanks for following. Thanks for liking as well. So let's move on to the next stock. So we have covered, guys, Apple, Nvidia, and Tesla, right? So we are looking at the US market right now. So let's move on to the next one. We take a look at Coinbase, Coin, Coinbase, right? Look at this, right? Stock code COIN, right? Coinbase, right? Okay, so let's take a look at Coinbase. I think one of the stocks that a lot of people are asking about, and let's see. Okay, and you can see that for Coinbase, not too bad. It seems like we are actually forming what we call higher lows, right? So I think we talked about Tesla just now forming lower highs, but in terms of like Coinbase, just like a 2-second view, you can see that we have formed what we call higher lows. That means the support actually got higher and higher, right? And that's a good thing. In terms of the longer term trend, I think we are pretty much up since like last year, all right? Since last year, I would say like June or May, all right, pretty good consolidation as we consolidate a little bit higher, broke above a resistance. So let me just draw some support and resistance line. I think somewhere over here, the 120. Look at this, guys. So 120 was a very key resistance. Look at this, right? 120, we touch it, we came down, we touch it, we came down. For like about more than a year, right? More than a year, we were below that 120, right? And finally, right? Something like Apple, right? Let's go back to Apple again. I mentioned the 200, right? So whenever we are below like a resistance level, a price level whereby a lot of sellers are coming back and we hit there and then we sell down again, it just shows that resistance is here to stay. But if there are signs of the uptrend, so you can see for this Coinbase, right? Since last year, I would say somewhere around November, right? We're still below the 120, right? 120, but there were already signs of the trend turning up just by looking at the 100 days, the red line, and the 200 days moving average, the blue line. And finally, right, even though there are signs of the trend turning up, right, we still need to break a key level for the uptrend to form up firmly, all right? And what would be that level? Well, that would be the 120 level, which, yes, it did happen, right? We broke above the 120. You can see, guys, that we just started to push all the way up. In fact, we actually came back down. Look at this, right? We came back down to retest the 120. So 120 actually turned from like a resistance to a support level. And when we came back down, you can see, guys, that is where it's a good opportunity to get in again. Why? Because that resistance turned to support, plus we saw bullish candlestick. Look at this, a pretty good long spinning top right here, bullish spinning top, another doji a spinning top as well, bullish spinning top, whereby it kind of like represents what we call a reversal, especially near a support level, right? So yeah, we saw that. The 20 days moving average, look at this right here, turn down, 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 it swing back up, pump. That's it, right over here. So the short-term trend, we headed to the support level, and you can see that the short-term trend turned up, longer-term trend still up. I mean, it was already up very long already, it's still up, and we were back to this support whereby we saw some pretty good bullish reversal candle, and that's where that rally actually happened all the way up, right? So let's take a look at it right now, and let's see what has happened. So I think right now we might be seeing a bit of resistance, maybe around that 280. So for those of you who are following us, this stock is called Coin, C-O-I-N. All right, Coinbase. We have covered like Apple, AAPL, Nvidia, Nvidia. We have covered like Tesla as well. Right now we are looking at this stock called Coinbase, right? C-O-I-N, code is C-O-I-N. So it seems like we are back to this support level, right? So I think support level would be around this level. That would be the 200. Let me show you why 200. So that would be here, right? Okay, so you can see. So first of all, 200 is a psychological level, and you can see that when we look at the past, about 2 years back, right? 200 was actually where we were supported above as well. We actually broke down and it became what we call like a bit of a resistance, right? So support turned resistance, and we are back to this level right now, right? 200, you can see we broke above it somewhere in like February, March, when the 280 swing up and down, and now we are back around that 200. So 200 seems to be a good support right now. I think for those of you who are looking for an entry, well, I think it seems like 200 has been holding over the past like 2-3 weeks already. All right, but one thing is that you want to just get a bit more confirmation in terms of the trend, right, in the short term. So what I teach is that not just the longer term trend is up, but we also want to think about getting in only when the short term trend has turned up, right? Has turned up, like over here. Can you see, guys, over here? So like for example, if you got in over here when it was like coming down towards the 120, so you went up and came back down, you see that the 20 days moving average line actually started to point down, point down, point down. It pointed down for like about not 1 or 2 days, for like 2 or 3 weeks, right? But only when it started to reverse, as you can see right over here, when it started to reverse, like maybe right over here, maybe on this day, right? That is where the short-term trend has turned up. And when that happens, that gives a bit more confirmation of that reversal move back up. Does it make sense, guys? Just type a like, guys, if that makes sense to you. Hit on the screen, give me some love, type like if that makes sense to you, right? In terms of how you want to gauge in terms of the shorter-term trend turning up as well, right? So right now, let's just put it back to where we are again, right? You can see that right now, let me just zoom in for you. You can see that this green line, this green 20 days moving average line, it has been sloping down. I mean, for the past 3 weeks, right? It's still sloping down. I think it is still slightly sloping down. So what if you wait for another 1 week or 2 weeks and it starts to flatten out and maybe even starts to point up? Does it make sense? That could be a confirmation whereby, we have not only hit it to the 200, we saw a couple of bullish candles here, and now there are signs of the short-term trend turning up as well, just like what we see over here. If we do see it now over here, it could be next week or next week. I'm not too sure exactly when, but that would be a better confirmation. Does it make sense, guys? So hit on the like button as to what you can look out for in terms of to gauge what we call an entry in terms of the shorter term. All right, so make sure you follow, guys. Make sure you follow if you've got some value so far, not just on like a stock idea or some top stocks to buy today or tomorrow, but not really that, but essentially also to get a bit of idea on how you can time your entry and exit, to build a plan as well, right, in terms of the upside. So a plan could be something like this, right? Okay, let me just dive a little bit more advanced stuff. But for example, let's say you want to get in on dips, if this thing happens like next week or something like that, right, and you want to get in near 200 or 205 or 20 something, all right, and you want to have a plan, right? For example, if you're taking a short-term trade, you could have a plan basically in terms of the upside reward. It could be all the way to 280. So in terms of the reward to risk, it could be all the way like about 4.27 times. Look at this, right? 4.27 times. So, if it breaks the 200, maybe it goes to like 190 or 185. You can get out, right? Because it might start to hit even lower, right? But in terms of the upside reward, a potential rebound like what we have seen over here somewhere in February could actually happen, and it could head towards the target. And in terms of the target, what is the potential reward that we can get, right, if it heads towards the target? In terms of the target, it would be this resistance level right over here, right? So in terms of the reward, it would be about a 4.2 times reward to risk ratio. That means for every $100 that you are potentially risking or potentially losing, right? I'm not saying that you want to lose that, but if you're potentially risking the amount, how much can you get back, right? It doesn't make sense to lose $100 and get back like $10 only, right? So but if you potentially risk $100, you could potentially make $400 over dollars. Does it make sense? And that's how it all adds up. The plan must make sense. And that's how, just to dive a little bit on the strategy part, all right? Okay, so if you want to attend, if you want to find a little bit more in-depth in terms of the strategy, attend one of those free webinars that I'm running. The link, just click on the link in my bio. There should be a link to attend one of those free webinars, all right, that we're still running, that we actually have a system as well to guide us on like entry and exit as well. All right, so this is Coinbase. Thanks for joining us, Linda, Rizzy, Jeff, good to see you here as well. Wang Xing, hi. Brian, Victor, good to see you here. Thanks for following as well. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. And I think that will be Palantir, PLTR, right? Palantir. So we have covered, for those of you who just joined us in this TikTok live show, we have covered a few stocks: Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Coinbase. The stocks that you guys were asking about. I'm not too sure when you join us. Hi, Philip, good to see you here. Thanks, Zara. Thanks for following as well, Zara. Good to see you here. Thanks, Shiling. Okay, very good. So let's move on. So now we are covering Palantir, PLTR. Stock code is Palantir, PLTR, right? So let's see where we are right now, and if there could actually be a little bit more upside. Thanks for liking, Owen, Ronaldinho. Thanks for joining us as well. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's see. Palantir, right? One of the stocks that, actually I've covered since last year as well. Some of my graduates and mentees have asked me about Palantir. And since, I would say, beginning of last year, right, there were already signs of the trend turning up, in case you're not too sure, right? Because you can see, guys, I think pretty much it's the same thing. I think we covered like a stock just now, like Coinbase, right? So we were actually kept below this resistance level. You can see right over here at about $10, right? So $10, okay, if you want maybe about like $12, $10 to $12, we were kept below this resistance. So right over here, when we finally break a resistance level, wow, there are signs of the trend turning up, all by looking at the moving averages, right? That is a good thing, right? That's a good thing. It just shows that we are starting to see signs of a reversal, and if we start to consolidate higher with this $12, after breaking it, it turned into a support, and if we stay above that 12, like now I turn it from red to green color, that is a good thing. That is where we get confirmation that the trend is starting to turn up, right? All right, so you can see we held above 12. In fact, the support became even higher, not even 12. It went to like 14, right? And we started to see buyers coming out at 14, all right? Rebounded a couple of times, 14, and then went even higher. The support became somewhere around that 16, right? So the support gets higher, it seems like. So it's from like, let me just show you, right? So from like 10 to 12 to 14 to 16. And what is the support right now? Well, I would say we may have found some support maybe around that. Let's see, right? Over the past like 2 months, maybe around that $20. 20 is a psychological level, right? $20 seems to be a support level. That, okay, let me just extend this. You can see that it was a little bit of a resistance. Look at this, resistance 20. It's a psychological level. That's where we actually attempted to break, but came back down. So yeah, 20, yeah, pump. Look at this, right? We broke above 20, went up, came back down, and it seems like now we are, trying to hold above 20. So I think the longer term trend is up for Palantir. So this is Palantir. For those of you who have just joined us, PLTR, one of those stocks we covered since last year, is still in what we call a bit of a reversal mode. It has not breached its previous high yet. You can see that for Palantir, previously about 2-3 years back, the high was somewhere around that $30, even all the way to $40 over dollars, right? So that was kind of like the high we have seen previously. I'm not saying that you will definitely go there, but no, we have not really breached the previous high yet. We are kind of like on the way in terms of the reversal that is still ongoing. That's still ongoing. So as long as we stay above these $20, I think it looks quite good all the way to the target. What could be the target? Well, I would say target wise could be at the next resistance level, somewhere around that 28. Yeah, so look at this, right over here as well. All right, let me just show you right over here. Right, yeah, 28 seems like that's where we touched 2-3 years ago, came back down, and we in fact just last month, right, same thing, we hit it to 28 and then we came back down. So that's how, right, you can see that just by drawing this support and resistance line, it gives you an idea from past prices where when we actually hit to again, that selling can happen. All right, it doesn't mean that it will surely happen, but at least it gives you an idea that, you know, if price were to hit to that level, right, we can expect some selling. And if you see some bearish candles coming out there, it could also guide you to maybe get out and take some profit first. Does it make sense? All right, so that's how you know, technical analysis can help you, right, just by looking at past prices and drawing what we call support and resistance level. So you have an idea of where we are right now in terms of those major price level, and these are what we call demand and supply zones, whereby major selling can happen, major buying can happen as well, right? So 28 would be kind of like the target, right, in terms of the short term. So I think that would be kind of like the range right now, from 20 all the way to like about 28, right? So that would become like the range, right? So I think if you stay above 20, I think it's still quite okay. You can try to get it on dips, maybe at 20, to ride the recovery all the way to near 28, maybe 26 plus 27, and that's where selling can actually come back again. All right, so that is for Palantir, stock code PLTR. All right, for those of you who just join us, all right, just go ahead to hit the follow button and hit the like as well. All right, thanks Andy, thanks Elvin, hi Hunt, hi Marina, hi Shadow, thanks for joining us. Well, good to see you guys here. Hit the like button as well, right? Help me to help me to like, so that I think that there should be a like count somewhere as well, right? Okay, very good. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, and let's go on to Amazon, AMZN, Amazon, right? So we are looking at Amazon right now. So those of you who have just joined us, guys, essentially this show is called the Ask Me Any Stocks live show. All right, so this is like the second time that I'm doing a live on TikTok. We used to do it on like Facebook and YouTube, but now I'll try to do it on like TikTok, a bit more impromptu. All right, you know, just go live straight away in like a few minutes. All right, so there's no planning, it's a bit more impromptu, just to add more value to my followers over here and maybe some of my clients in Philip Securities as well. So if you're not yet a client of mine in Philip Securities, you're not getting some of those ideas that we do share by WhatsApp daily, make sure you come on board as a client of mine in Philip Securities. The link is in my bio. Just go to my profile, link in bio, click on it. There should be a button right there to click to find out a little bit more. So essentially, I'm a broker in Philip Securities. That's where we do share some of those ideas by WhatsApp. So if you're trading in the stock market, I mean, you probably need a trading account, right? So if you have a trading account in Singapore, you're buying some stocks, Singapore stocks, whatever stocks, and you don't really have much service from your own broker, all right? You don't have any ideas or videos or WhatsApp or trading or live, or you don't even know who your broker even is, then make sure you find out as to how you can come on board as a client of mine in Philip Securities. That's where we do share some of those updates and ideas daily by WhatsApp, right? In fact, just type the C, type C for client, guys. If some of you are clients of mine in Philip Securities, just type C for client. So that, yeah, you can come on board as a client of mine to get some of those services at no additional charge whatsoever. All right, it's pretty much free. Is some of the services that we provide as a client. All right, you do not pay anything more. So do check out, the link is in my bio. Find out how you can come on board as a client of mine in Philip Securities. All right, to get some of those ideas much faster by WhatsApp daily. Some of those Singapore stocks that we are sharing live. All right. Okay. CCC. Thanks, Jack. Shah, Amos, William. Thanks to see you here. Hi, Sophie, Skippy. Good to see you. Hi. Thank you for joining us, Chloe. All right. Okay. Good. Okay. So let's move on right now, guys. We have taken a look at a few US stocks that some of you were asking about just now: Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Coin, Palantir. Now we are on to Amazon, right? So this is Amazon right here at about $188. Pretty good. I would say one of these, one of the strongest, I would say, Magnificent Seven stocks, like, Nvidia, Google, Alphabet, Microsoft, right? And this is one of those stocks that I like as well. And you can see that we have found maybe a little bit of resistance. If you can just put this level right now, you definitely need this level, right? So you can see, right, I talked about resistance a couple of times. So you can see right now that for Amazon, AMZN, a very, very critical resistance would be at this level. the 190. That was about 3 years back, 2 to 3 years back. 190 level came out. You can see it sold down because we turned into a downtrend all the way down when they'll talk about rate hikes and all that, right? And right now, let me just zoom into the present. You can see that over the past 1 month, right, we are back to this 190. In fact, right now we are $188, right? Just slightly below the 190, right? So I think we may even attempt to break this 190. So just take note, right? In terms of the support level, we have found some support coming out around the 170. You can see a little bit of resistance here. And yeah, quite good, right? Look at this bullish candle coming out just I think last week we got a bullish candle as they approach the 170 and started to rebound from it. So 170 to 190. So that is kind of like the range right now. 170 to 190, very firm uptrend in the longer term. In the short term, we are in this consolidation range. Swing up, down, up. I don't know whether we'll come down again, but if we come down, great, right? Give you an opportunity to get in again. But that is the range, right? Until finally, if we were to break that 190, great. That is where we could see a higher phase, maybe all the way to 200, 220. That could be the upside targets that will be revised higher. But right now, in the short term, you can simply see that the 20 days. So as I say, right, for the short term trend, so longer term trend, we look at the 100 days and the 200 days moving average, which is kind of like a bigger picture in terms of 1-2 years outlook, right? But for the short term trend, take note that we can look at it in terms of the 20 days moving average. So this green line, you can see this green line right over here. It was up, right? It was up, and then it was like up a little bit and then like flat. And right now it is starting to flatten out. So it might just flatten out a little bit in that range, right? Look at this, right? So this green line, I mean, this is what I kind of like extrapolate, right? So it might just flatten out, which is fine. It just shows that in the short term, we are consolidating in this 170 to 190 range, a $20 range, which gives you an opportunity to get in again, to be honest, right near that 170, also where the longer term moving averages are. So nobody knows when exactly it will break 190, but I think if it does happen, that would be a good thing. I think that would be where, you know, we can potentially see even more upside, all right, above 190 to 200, 220. That could be where we can see upside happening again. All right, so that is Amazon. Not too bad. One of those stocks that I think you probably want to have in your portfolio as well. Okay, so let me just go ahead, just type in the chat, guys. So we have covered like AAPL, Nvidia, Tesla, Coin, Palantir, Amazon, and if you have any stocks, guys, just type in the chat US stocks. I'll try my best to cover like a few more. All right, just type in the chat any US stocks that I have not yet covered. Just type it in the chat and I will do my best to cover it. All right. Thanks for joining us. Shasha, thanks for joining us. Hi Vivi, hi Skippy. Okay, let's see, right? This AMR. Let's see. Thanks for joining us, P Sung, AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let me just scroll up and see. I think if you have missed anything. Maybe we have Meta. I think Amos, you're asking about Meta, right? Let's take a look at Meta platforms, right? Meta platform. I think one of the popular ones is what a lot of people are asking about. Let's take a look. Okay, so here is Meta platforms, right? Meta platforms. Let's see. Meta platforms at about $468. All right, I think a bit of resistance quite clearly around that 530, all right, 530 resistance level. We have found some support at 480, but it seems like that has broken over the past 1-2 weeks. We broke down this support level, which would now be a resistance level. Some support found at maybe around that 420, right? So right over here, maybe about 420, right? It should be about 400, but it seems like 420 buyers are starting to come back. All right, so I think not too bad for Meta. I think it's one of those like longer term uptrending plays. All right, we have like consolidated and push even higher. All right, push even higher along the way since like January 2023. All right, went all the way up, consolidate, went up, and now we are seeing a bit of weakness in the short term. But so far, I can see that buyers are coming out as well. So I think anything above like 420, it looks pretty good, and we may actually be attempting to break back above that 480, right? 480. If that happens, I think we could see the upside happening all the way back to 530 level. All right, so that's for Meta platforms. Not too bad. One of those stocks that I like as well in the longer term, right? One of those you can put in the longer term. in terms of kind of like portfolio to hold for the longer term as well. All right, so this is Mana Platform. Thanks for joining us. All right, and would it be okay, guys, if you have not yet followed this type, hit the follow button and hit the like as well. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, guys. How to like? I think just need to tap on the screen. By tapping on the screen, I think there will be some likes that will fly up, some heart shape, right? That will be really helpful. All right. Okay, good. So let's move on to the next one. Let's see if we have. Thanks for following, VV. Good to see you here. AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. All right, let's take a look. Where is that? AMD. All right, okay. Okay, so this is Advanced Micro Devices, right? You can see we are at about $154, $154, right? And you see that for Advanced Micro Devices, we did see quite a bearish candle right over here, somewhere in like March, right? Somewhere in March, we headed towards the two. Maybe if I can draw a resistance right here, because that's where we saw this bearish candle. The 220, right? So 220 is a resistance level you want to take note. I think that's where selling can really come back again. All right, and we kind of like headed there. We broke certain support level. I think one of those key support levels that we broke down would be this level, the 160. Let me just show you. I think this level is quite important. You can see 160 was pretty much where we were right over here, somewhere in 2022. All right, this is about slightly more than 2 years back. We touched about 2 times and we started to see a downtrend. It sold all the way down, right? So over the past few months, we actually went back above that 160. Look at this right here. We broke above the 160, right, all the way here. We broke above it, so that's a good thing. It shows that the uptrend can continue even further. And yeah, we went all the way from 160 to like 220, but sellers came back. We traded back below, down, and you see over the past like 1-2 weeks, we were actually trying. All right, let me just zoom in for you. You can see we were actually trying to maintain or to hold above that $160, but it seems like we are not able to. And you can see, guys, that in terms of the short-term trend, so even though the longer-term trend is up, you can see that the short-term trend is still pointing down just by looking at the 20 days moving average. This green line that has been sloping down since March for more than, I would say, like 2 months, about 2 months, right? We have been seeing weakness in the trend, in the short term. All right, so I'm slightly a little bit more bearish, I would say, in the short term, because first of all, the 20 days moving average line is sloping down. Plus, we broke down that 160. In fact, when we broke down, we went down, we retested it, couldn't get back up, and we went down again. All right, now we're like maybe going back up again, and if we stay below that 160, let me just turn this 160 from green to a red line. I think that is where, unfortunately, we can still see weakness in the short term. We can still see weakness in the short term below 160. All right, but hopefully, right, hopefully we see some good support coming back. I think maybe we might be seeing some support coming back somewhere around that 130 to 140 level. Why? I mean, just by looking at the past, you can see that was where we had the resistance we broke above, right? So somewhere around 130 to 140, hopefully we might see some bargain hunting coming back there. And if the 20 days moving average line, all right, which is still pointing down, as I mentioned, right? It's still pointing down. If that starts to flatten out, I think that would be a good indication whereby the short-term trend has at least stabilized. It's just not too aggressive, it's not too bearish anymore. Then that's where you want to think about getting in. So you don't have to rush, getting in. I think if you're looking to buy on dips, I think you only want to get in. I think I mentioned just now that you only want to get in when we see some signs of the short-term trend turning up as well. All right, so that is for Advanced Micro Devices. Okay, so I think we have covered quite a few stocks already. Okay, good. So I think that should be it, guys. Okay, maybe just one more stock like a CRM, Salesforce. I think that was where one of you asked as well. Let's take a look at Salesforce CRM. Okay, pretty good uptrending stocks, but in the short term, seem like some of those technology stocks as well. We saw a bit of selling, so that would be a resistance level around that 320. And let's see, right? Support level would be somewhere around 280. You can see that we actually broke this little support. It used to be about like 280 to 290. We kind of like went below 280, but at least, we are seeing some signs of, strength coming back already at the next support level, maybe right around 270, right? Yeah, 270. It seems like some bargain hunting is coming back. So yeah, I think it looks quite good. It seems like the short-term trend is starting to stabilize. 20 days moving average line is still kind of like pointing down, but if we hold above like 270, I think it will start to flatten out. I think that could be a sign that, okay, so for example, now we are consolidating, right? Look at this, like swing up, and down. So we might just do this for another 1 or 2 more weeks. And I think more confirmation would be if we get back above that 280, I think that would be a confirmation in terms of us, breaking out of this lower consolidation to a higher consolidation, right? And when that happens, guys, I can tell you that the 20 days moving average line will start to point up as well. Okay, let me show you what I mean, right? So this is where the 20 days moving average, which is pointing down, yet it might just flatten out and it will start to point up as well, all right? If we were to go back above that 280, so that could be kind of like the level, right? That could be the level whereby we could see more upside from 280 all the way back to like 310 to 320. All right, so that is Salesforce stock code CRM, stock code Salesforce, one of those stocks that is in a longer term uptrend. Short term, we are seeing a bit of weakness, but there could be an opportunity to get in as well. All right, especially if we break back above the 280 temporary resistance level. All right, okay, so I think that's it, guys. We have come to the end of this TikTok live show. We've gone on for like more than an hour already. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. If you've got some value, this type of V or tap on the screen, show me some likes or share. Thank you so much, and I look forward to see you in the next TikTok live show. Hit on the follow button, guys, if you have not yet done so, so that when we go live in the future, that is where you will be notified as well, right? So Joey here, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to get some, as I mentioned, right, I'm actually a broker in Philips Securities, and if you are trading in Singapore and you have like a trading account and you don't actually get much service from your broker, all right, it's pretty much like DIY and all that, right? And you don't have anyone to send you any ideas of videos or updates or trainings, or to do TikTok live and all that, all right, make sure you come on board as a client of mine in Philips Securities. That's where we do share some of those ideas by WhatsApp much faster. All right, Stefan, oh yeah, bonus stock, exactly, all right, I almost forget about it. Thank you so much for reminding me. Hi, Carol, thanks for following. Brian, awesome. Okay, a bonus stock. How many of you want me to review like maybe a bonus stock that perhaps you could put in your watch list? Just type a B, type B for bonus. If you want me to share with you guys maybe a bonus stock that you could put in your watch list as well, right? Just type B for bonus if you want me to share with you, right? Okay, maybe let's take a look at the US market, right? US market. Okay, let's take a look, right? So I think there are some stocks, right? I mean, we do have this service called the Monthly Edge. For those of you who are keen, right, just make sure you're on my email list, or attend one of those free webinars. I'll share with you guys a bit more, and that's where we share some of the top 30 over US stocks, right, in this premium service. And link in my bio, check it out, all right? And that's where we have like 2 new US stocks that we add every single month as well. So there's more than 30 over US stocks that is in our portfolio that you can take a look as well, all right? It's more for a longer term portfolio, 3 years, 5 years kind of outlook. All right, thanks Tony, AM, Shasha, Stefan, Sophie, thank you. Yes, okay, good. So let me just share with you guys some bonus stocks right now that you could put, in the US market, that perhaps you could put in your watch list as well. I think one of those stocks that we like would be this company called Qualcomm, right? QCOM, right? QCOM. In fact, we have covered it like about 1 month back, a few weeks back. Okay, let me just show you. So this is Qualcomm. One of the plays, I know all of you guys know Nvidia, right? Qualcomm is one of those as well, in terms of the play of the 5G, producing all the chips right over here. All right, so you can see that in terms of the resistance level, Nvidia has broken and found a new high, and it's like pretty much, at an all-time high already, all right? But for Qualcomm, right, just compared to about 2 years back, you see that we are still kind of like below the the high that we've seen just about 2 years back. That would be around the 190 level. So you can see right over here, we are slowly approaching this 190 resistance level. I'm not saying that you should buy, but what happens is that we might see a bit of profit taking near 190. But the thing is that if we do dip back down to some of those support levels, anywhere near 170, it used to be about 160, but I think now we have kind of like pushed away from that. Okay, let me show you this level. I think that would be the 160 160. So when we covered it, I think last month, you can see that 160 was a very, very key resistance level. Look at this, right? About 2-3 times. It was a support 2 years back. It became a resistance. And finally, we went above 160. That's where it came into our radar. All right, push up, came back down, retested, and we pushed back up above 160 again. So I think 160 would be a pretty decent support level, also where the longer term moving averages are, right? But the thing is that, of course, nobody will know whether it will go back down to 160 or 165 for you to buy, or because it's really gone up already. But I think it still looks pretty good. All right, anything on dips maybe around this range from like 160 to, let me just draw it for you, right? I think that could be the range. Of course, as I say, right, in the stock market, there's what we call a probability, all right? Higher probability. There's no such thing as a 100% win rate, right? But it's the winning probability. So if it does dip to this level, and of course nobody will know whether it will dip to that level, but if it does dip to that level, right, then that is where you have what we call a high reward to risk trade, right? Whereby you can get in near near this support level from 160 to 170, maybe 175. As I say, right, you can queue at 162 and hopefully get it, but if it might not go there, right, it might just go to 172 and then it went up already, right? So like what we have seen, right? So if it does dip a little bit, I think it's still a pretty good play in the longer term. In terms of the trend, it's still intact. We may see buyers coming back on dips again all the way towards the 190. And what I'm looking for, of course, we have set our alerts, and if it breaks 190 or even 200, I think it can really start to see a lot of momentum. It can trigger a lot of more upside momentum. That's where it can start to push even higher fast. So 220, 250 upside targets can be revised, right? Jack, you're saying it looks like a cup and handle. Yeah, it looks like that, right? I mean, cup and handle, right? These are some of the patterns, right? So I'm not really, concerned about all these names. I mean, there are many names like the inverse head and shoulder, cup and pattern, rounding bottom, double bottom, things like that, right? So this is something like that, but you can see that quite, even keep it simple, how it works is this, right? So something like what we call a rounding bottom. So you can see it's like a bit of a semicircle, something like that, all right, like a semicircle. It's a rounding bottom, but the key here is that we need to break a resistance level. So that has happened, as mentioned, the 160 level, right? We broke that resistance, and now that is the support. So anything from 160 to 170, 175, I think that's where it is a bargain hunting zone. Buyers can come back on dips again. So that is Qualcomm, stock code QCOM, right? QCOM, one of those stocks that we like. Still now watch this, not too bad. I think it's just a longer term trend. It looks intact as well in terms of the upwards direction. All right, so that's it, guys. Thanks for joining us in this TikTok live show. I hope you guys have learned something, you've got some value so far. And I look forward to see you in the next TikTok live show. Hit on the follow button if you have not yet done so that when we go live in the future on TikTok, it'll be very impromptu, all right? Hopefully I catch you again. I get to cover some of those stocks that you're asking about as well. All right, and my apologies if I did not manage to cover all your stocks. I'll try to do it the next time, all right? And maybe we look at the Singapore market or Singapore stocks the next time. And if you want to get some of our Singapore stock ideas much faster, as I say, link in my bio, check out how you can become a client of mine in Philip Securities, whereby we do share some of those updates and ideas by WhatsApp daily at no additional cost, for free, all right? So that you know what stocks to actually focus on, what stocks to actually put in your watch list, especially if you're trading online on your own. You don't actually get much service as well. And if you want to find out in terms of the entire strategy, so like today, right, I pretty much just dive into the stocks that you guys were asking about. But if you want to find out a little bit more in terms of the entire strategy, or how we have a system to guide us as well in terms of like all these stocks here, in fact, I think like for Qualcomm, okay, maybe let me just sidetrack a little bit, right? Like for Qualcomm, if I can show you guys, where is the let me show you, like for Qualcomm, right? So this is what we call a system, right? So I don't have time to show you guys today, I mean, for all the stocks that you guys were asking about, but essentially you can see that for Qualcomm, this is what we call the 1GT system, right? 1GT system, whereby we have bullish and even bearish signals coming out. So these green arrows pointing up are what we call bullish signals. So if you see it, then not too bad, right? I think you get a bit more confidence to buy. I mean, you can see went up, another bullish signal in February, all the way up. And yeah, the past 1 week, it seems like a couple of bullish signals coming out again. As I mentioned, I think the most recent one was the 2nd of May, right? So I think if we can break the 190 grade, these bullish signals can start to play out. We even have a trend bar here. So as I mentioned, it has been in the uptrend since last year. All right, so you want to find a bit more on the entire strategy, attend one of those free webinars, link in my bio, go to my profile, link bio, click on it. The button is right there. I'll see you guys in this webinar whereby I spend a bit more time talking about the strategy behind and even how perhaps a system can help you as well, not just to alert you on stocks like this, but also to guide you on entry and exit. All right, so thank you so much, guys. Thanks for joining us in this TikTok live show. I look forward to see you guys in the next TikTok live. Thank you so much, guys. Bye. Thanks, Tony, Alex, Stefan, Jack, thanks for joining us. Make sure you hit the like and follow button. Look forward to see you guys in the next TikTok live show. And hopefully I can cover your stocks as well. Thanks, Edwin. Good to see you here. Hi, Bunchin, Carol. Thanks. Awesome. Okay, hi, Bunchin, Han. Thank you. Thanks, Alex. Right, like. Hit the follow button. I'll see you guys. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.